Like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out of stance. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Boy got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the raps. Had a few friends, but they suck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride till I hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen the rap on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told them don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in a big league.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I think you all already know Zach Thomas did not make the Hall of Fame. This is the fourth time that I'm going to have this conversation. We've been doing this well, actually the third time. I didn't do it the first year. This is the third time we're going to be having this conversation. Zach Thomas did not make the Hall of Fame. This is the third time that I am going to have the same conversation. And every time I have this conversation, honestly, people don't like it, but it's the truth. Why are we as Dolphin fans continuing to live in the state of delusion that we're in, thinking that Zach Thomas is a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame? I love Zach Thomas. He is one of the NFL greats. He was a Miami great. But ladies and gentlemen, Zach Thomas is always going to have a hard time making the Hall of Fame. And I think that if we continue to do this every year, he will eventually get in. But the truth is, it is very unlikely. He is the definition of a guy who is just on the outside looking in. When the doors to the club closes, he was next. Oh, I just missed it. Why do I say this? The evidence is all a freaking around you. The number one reason Zach Thomas is not in the Hall of Fame is because he does not have a level of success in the postseason. And if you don't have a level of success, and this is a team thing, he is a victim of the Miami Dolphins. When you don't have playoff success, you have to add at least a 20%, 18% premium on your stats. Jason Taylor is a prime example of that. There are Hall of Famers that had 20 less sacks than Jason Taylor. But the reason why it took Jason Taylor 20 extra sacks to get in, because just like Zach Thomas, he did not have the postseason success. Whether you want to believe it or not, take away 20 sacks from Jason Taylor, he would be in the same freaking situation. Take away 20 sacks from Jason Taylor, and he would be in the same jacked up situation. This man has 20 sacks more than the bottom level of the Hall of Fame. It took all 20 of them for him to get in. It ain't just making it to one AFC championship game. That ain't get Jason Taylor in a 15-plus year career. One AFC championship game. The Miami Dolphins' lack of postseason success is the main reason it will always be hard for some of our greats to get in. Richmond Webb, freaking Zach Thomas. And every year we live in this delusion. It's Zach's time. Do y'all realize the finalists are getting better and better and younger and younger? And let me give you another misconception about the Hall of Fame. Zach Thomas is better than all of those guys that got in. Hold on. It's not about if you were a better player than those guys. It's about how you stood up, how you ranked at your position. One of the best left tackles of all time. I may have not have been as good as Zach Thomas, but amongst left tackles, I am an all-time great. It's not just raw the player you are. Were you a top player at your position, and how much more of a top player were you compared to those who are currently in the Hall? Y'all keep on living in your delusion, thinking that it's a snub every year. You don't need to blame the writers who vote. You need to blame the Miami Dolphins for having such talented players and doing little to nothing in the playoffs. They are victims of the playoffs. Everybody that's usually inducted with, they stats wasn't all of that, lived in the playoffs, played a lot of playoff games, postseason resume. It's the freaking truth. Whether y'all want to accept it or not, you're going to keep on coming back. And every year I'm going to tell. Now, again, he could slide in, but let me tell you something. Y'all think Devin Hester going to get in the Hall of Fame? I'm just curious. I want to ask y'all that. Y'all think Devin Hester going to get in the Hall of Fame? Watch this. Do you think Devin Hester going to get in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no in the comment section. Be honest. Do you think Devin Hester going to get in the Hall of Fame? Put it in the comment section. I'm seeing a lot of no's, which is shocking. Devin Hester gonna get in the freaking Hall of Fame. And basically, y'all proving my point. Y'all don't understand how it's voted on. He's probably, he got a better chance to get in the Hall of Fame than Zach Thomas, because what did he do at his position? And remember, what was his position? What really elevated him to be even considered in the Hall of Fame? Special freaking teams. He did something that many have never done. This man won Super Bowls off of his returning. Playoff experience in the biggest games. Special teams. He did something that his peers on special teams never did as a body of work. He's going to get in one day. And unfortunately, yes, before Zach Thomas, more and more players keep being finalists, and they're getting younger and younger. Read the writing on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. The positions, the players are only getting better over time. He revolutionized the position. Exactly. But was he a better player than Zach Thomas overall? No. But you're forgetting the fact that it goes by what did you do in that position versus those who are already in and your peers at the time. He was the dominant force on special teams when he played football. You don't write the NFL story talking about special teams if you're not going to mention Devin Hester. Now, is he a right away guy? Obviously not, but he got a better chance than Zach Thomas of getting in. Zach Thomas is a victim of the Miami Dolphins, not of getting snubbed. This team couldn't put a team together to have a lot of playoff success, so he could have been remembered. There are players with the exact same resumes as him in the Hall of Fame. You know why? Because they got nothing but post-season experience. Always talk about Urlacher and all of the Bears. Look at what this man has done in the playoffs. That's how it works. Have y'all noticed I haven't talked about Zach Thomas for the last week? Everybody was like, Zach might get in this week. Zach might get in. Yeah, Zach might get in. Y'all notice I ain't say nothing. I just sit back and watch y'all do this every single year. You know why? Because you want to ignore the facts. Zach is a great man. Zach, I would love to see him in the Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, he should just get in. That's why there's still hope. You can't lose the fight. You got to keep reminding these writers about Zach Thomas, and maybe one day he'll just make the cut. But the time and odds are working against him as new people become eligible every year. New people become eligible every year. And people's stats aren't doing nothing but getting even better because it's a different NFL. Remember that. Players' stats are getting better because it's a new NFL. It's just the reality, man. Somebody said, I think once the voters get a little younger, Thomas will. He is on the 2000s all decade. When the voters get younger, they won't even know Thomas. What are you talking about? When the voters get younger, they won't even know who Zach Thomas is. Do y'all realize Zach Thomas play? I mean, with the writers that vote, most of these guys are between like 35 and 65 years old, somewhere in that range. Y'all realize Zach Thomas has been over like 23 plus years or something like that since he's played. Even if you took the oldest guy at 60 or something, subtract the 23 years, and that puts that guy at 38 when he remembers Zach very well. How much younger you want the voter to be? Well, you want 30-year-old voters that when Zach Thomas played, they were babies. They weren't even 10 years old. When the voters get younger, he will be forgotten. I think he got a window of about 3 to 4 more years to even have a chance. If that don't happen, it might be a wrap. It might be a wrap. Look how many linebackers in the last 10 years retired that were monsters. DB said, I never heard of Zach Thomas. And I'm just keeping it 1,000 with y'all. We go through this every year, and I do this same stream every year, and I help y'all understand Zach Thomas, Richmond Webb, they are victims of the Miami Dolphins' lack of success in the postseason. Give them one ring. They've been in the Hall of Fame. Give them one, and they've been in the Hall of Fame. Dwayne Wade said Urlacher. How did Urlacher do in the playoffs? How did he play on a historic unit? Urlacher basically got the same numbers as Zach Thomas, pretty much almost. But look at his postseason resume. One of the leaders on a great unit that everybody remembers. What do they remember about the Dolphins defense with Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas? They don't even mention them as a good unit. They just mention Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. See, when you got a good unit and you stand out on that good unit, boy, that's real. But if you just got a unit and you stand out, you're a better player than the rest of your teammates. I think you need sustained success over multiple seasons. Yes, but don't forget about the postseason. Don't forget about the postseason. This is the reality. I explain this to y'all every year. He is a victim of the Miami Dolphins, y'all. All on Twitter, snubbed again. People got their jerseys on, sitting in front of the TV, putting pictures. We waiting on Zach to get announced. I'm just sitting here like, I hope he do so we can stop this. Somebody just throw a bone and put the band in so we can stop this. Help us get out of delusion. And when I'm sitting here like, maybe they will. Oh, another guy they didn't. Maybe they will. Oh, another guy they didn't. Yep, they didn't. I ain't surprised, but let me talk to the people. Zach not good enough. Zach is good enough. But there's certain things you need on your resume. See, y'all want Zach to get in off of pure stats because you see somebody else in with comparable stats. When you talk around the league and they mention linebackers, you got a handful of people talk about Zach was always tough to go against. But when you talk about the league, man, these people don't remember Zach Taylor, man. I'm just keeping it as a buck with y'all. They don't remember Zach Taylor. They don't remember this man. You understand how many records Marino had to break to be considered on that level? TD just explained why I didn't know him because of the lack of playoff success. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, Dolphin fans know him, but you go out here in the league, and I ain't talking about the AFC. You go out here in the league, go talk to a fan of this team or that team. These people don't know who Zach Thomas is. We just live in our own bubble world. Like, that's the thing that amazes me about the Dolphin fans. We live in our own bubble world and never look at where do we rank on the bigger scale of things with everybody. I promise y'all, a lot of these people don't know who Zach Thomas is. Look at this. Somebody said Zach Thomas made some big-time third down stops and sacks in a regular game. You know how many linebackers made some big-time third down stops and sacks this year in a regular season game that 90% of the team didn't watch because they weren't a fan of your team and never knew about it. You're not even on prime time often because you're the Dolphins. Zach Thomas led jersey sales for the Dolphins for a bit. Tell me when he led jersey sales in the NFL. You see what I'm talking about? That comment alone is what I'm talking about. We're in our own bubble. We only judge things off of what we do. He led jersey sales for the Dolphins. How does that rank for the people in the league the year he led them? Probably was 20th best. Probably was 20th best. Real fans know Zach Thomas. Yeah, Dolphin fans, but don't forget, we got young little 20 and 25-year-olds coming up. We got 30-year-olds that's real fans, and they don't know Zach Thomas. And that ain't unfair for them not to know him. Some of them didn't start watching football at 10 years old. So people that know Zach Thomas, most of them are over 30, or most of them heard about him. Zach Thomas just released an official statement. He said it was an honor to once again be among the finalists for the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame. I want to congratulate this year's class. They were all great players and are each deserving of their gold jacket. I also want to thank the Miami Dolphins fans who continue to be so supportive. You guys are the best. Great statement by Zach Thomas. Great statement by Zach Thomas. But I will say this, Dolphin fans, don't give up the fight. Continue to push his name because it might just get him over the top one day. It might. It might get him over the top one day. I'm 23 and I know who Zach Thomas is, but never watched him play live. You know about him because you must be around Dolphin fans who always talk about our greats. That's the only reason you know him. But you never got to feel Zach Thomas. You never got to witness him on the field. You watching semi-color video to see his highlights. So you can know him, but you don't know his true impact. People told you about his impact. You didn't experience Zach Taylor. And we phasing out of an era. I watched him play live, and I am 29. What? You were 6 years old? 7? How old were you? That's my whole point. Didn't even really truly understand the X's and O's of the game. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, you saw him live. But come on, man. Let's just keep it 1,000. He sacrificed his body for the team. Yep. Just like most linebackers for every team. He put out a statement. I know, I just read it. 54 was a ball magnet, man. Zach Thomas was the cream of the crop, man. I keep telling y'all, I know how great Zach Thomas was. But I also know when you evaluate the situation, he wouldn't make it in the Hall of Fame. And if he did make it, oh my gosh, it definitely was a weak class. And not because he was a weak player. Y'all have to understand there's a criteria to get in. There's a criteria you need to have to get in. Now, why don't y'all tell me real quick some of the reasons he should be in the Hall of Fame, but don't make it about the Dolphins. Stack him up with others, the whole league. Tell me why he should be in the Hall of Fame. 5-time All-Pro first, as well. Okay, there's other Hall of Famers that had that many. Please tell me. Please tell me why he should be in the Hall of Fame. Zach was out there by himself on D most of those years. Okay. Your point? That's the problem with voters. They hold team accolades against individuals. That's not true. Y'all want Zach to get in like other people who have the same resume, but they have postseason successes. Who are you supposed to give it to? Take the name off the picture. Picture one, 100 tackles, just hypothetically, right? Picture one, 100 tackles. Picture two, 100 tackles and 2 Super Bowls. Who's supposed to get in? Who's supposed to get in? Whew. Ask Hall of Fame linebackers what they think of Zach. They think he's great. They even had to be voted in. They don't make the decisions. So when y'all talk about Urlacher versus Zach Thomas stats, let's talk about it. I have an article here. Statistically, he's very similar to Urlacher and even superior in some categories. He's got more tackles, 1,700 versus 1,300. That's 400 more. And they are tied in turnovers. Both have 34 when you add forced fumbles and interceptions together. The only stat Urlacher really kills him in on is sacks, 40 to 20, which is huge. Which one you think weighs more, a sack or a freaking tackle? The man got 40 sacks versus 20. Urlacher got more pass defenses, 90 versus 70. Let me see if they got any more, man. Give me a second. Urlacher went to the Pro Bowl one more time than him. I'm looking for tackles for loss because that's a huge one in the linebacking core. Tackles for loss. Here we go. Let's see what they say. Brian Urlacher, 97 tackles for loss. Zach Thomas, 70. 70. In all of that, Zach Thomas beats him in one category, tackles. Urlacher killing them in tackles for loss, which are way more impactful than a tackle. A tackle can be made 40 yards down the field, as far as I care. Tackle for loss. And then on top of tackles for loss, pass defenses 90 to 70. On top of that, 40 sacks versus 20. We talk about the big boy stats, not just raw tackles. And then you add it all up, even if you want to say they even out to each other, postseason success. Who's supposed to get in? Who's supposed to get in? And Zach actually played more games. Urlacher has more interceptions. Let me see here. Very comparable players. But I'm telling y'all, it's the postseason. Hugh Thomas of the Chicago Bears team, they beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. Thomas on Bull Chicago. Well, maybe. I'm just saying to you, he wasn't on that team. TD, did you think Chase was deserving of Offensive Rookie of the Year? Yeah. Yeah. Can't be mad at that. Yeah. This is why we have to win a Super Bowl. Exactly. Exactly. This is another reason why I tell y'all Xavier Howard can have 2 more years of what he been doing. He ain't making the Hall of Fame. He's not making the Hall of Fame. Y'all already know, call me crazy. I'm used to it. This is why I tell y'all Xavier Howard is not a Hall of Famer. Now, he give us one more great year and we go far, and do something special. It still might even be the outside looking in. Somebody says, so did Marino. I don't know what you were saying about that. So did Marino. Urlacher impacted the game more. Everybody know. I mean, let's be honest, though. Take your Dolphin hat off for a second. Urlacher was the well-known player. He definitely impacted the league more. He was way more feared than Zach Thomas. And they looked at him like a dog. Not saying Zach wasn't any of those things, but let's be honest, when they played, Urlacher was the dude. Tua's Hall of Fame story going to be crazy. I would love that. That would be everything. I would love that. No, I disagree. Yeah, I'm sure a Dolphins fan would disagree. Urlacher played for a historical franchise. Not only that, he also had a historical defense that he was a part of. Number one defenses in the league when he was playing. Everybody knew that Bears defense. That Bears defense was to be feared. When have Zach Thomas or Jason Taylor had a defense that was to be feared? When? When did we have a defense to be feared with those guys? We had some good units, some good teams, but it's a whole different level. When everybody around you is good, but you still stand out. That's what I'm trying to help y'all understand. That's the difference. Zach Thomas was the standout on the defense, him and Jason Taylor. But when everybody on the defense is good, but you stand out, that means you on a whole nother level. Think about how many plays those good players around Urlacher made, but he still put his numbers up. I'm just saying to y'all, let's stop being surprised, okay? Let's stop acting all shocked and mad, snubbed. I'm going to tell y'all this every year when everybody's disappointed. The reason Zach Thomas continues to not make the Hall of Fame is because he is a victim of the Miami Dolphins. He is a victim of the Miami Dolphins. The lack of postseason success. He would have needed another 200 tackles, another freaking at least 10 more sacks, and he would have been in right now without the postseason success. That's why I tell y'all, you got to give a 20% premium if you ain't got no postseason success. Go find the lowest guy at the position in the Hall of Fame. And that guy, if you don't have any postseason success, take your numbers and give me a 20%. Take those numbers and give me a 20% premium on top of all the numbers. And if you hitting those numbers, you getting in. Somebody said, ain't 200. Is that a lot? For the amount of time that he played, I mean, what? That's another 15 a year? Or maybe even less. I don't know. That's about it. I agree with that part. He's a victim of the Miami Dolphins. Of course he is, man. Of course he is. I guess you never heard of Troy Vincent. So what about him? What are we trying to well, I'm saying, what are we using him as an example for? I mean, what is he the example for? Are you trying to make the point for the Dolphins defense at the time? You compare the Miami Dolphins defense of any year Zach Thomas or Jason Taylor played, and you go compare that Chicago Bears defense, bro, it ain't even close. Stop. It ain't even close. I don't know if that's the point you're trying to make. Like, oh, we had a good defense too around Zach and them and all. Go compare that defense to this one. It ain't even close. If that's the point you were trying to make. That Bears defense kept all those good players for so long. Exactly. That Bears defense. Oh, then we beat that Bears team with Ricky. I mean, they weren't unstoppable. Teams got through them, but collectively, they were in the playoffs every year off the backs of them. We had Patrick Surtain. I don't care who we had. I don't care who we had. Go compare both defenses holistically. It ain't even close. Y'all stop trying to justify it. It ain't close. Go look at that Bears defense compared to any time Zach Thomas, any unit Zach Thomas played with in Miami. It ain't close. Y'all stop. We had the corners. We had one linebacker at a defensive end. It ain't even close. We had one guy on every level. Yeah, we had one guy on every level, a safety, a corner, a linebacker, the defensive end. One. The Bears were staying at least 8 of them every year were legit. Not even freaking close, man. And I know y'all don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. It wasn't even close. You can't talk to people like that, TD. No, man. I'm just saying people want to write these narratives like just to have hope in their argument. No, it wasn't close. It was not close, man. If y'all young, go look up them Bears defenses. Go look up the stats that they put up, what they held teams points to, how nasty those players were. How them defenses was, I mean, we talking about playoff games where they were just holding teams down on their neck. And you saw these guys showing up on the field, smothering the field, man. It's the freaking truth, man. I'm just saying. And Urlacher stood out in all of that. He stood out above what was even around him. Let's call it what it was, man. Matter of fact, many say he was the leader of it. Urlacher in the middle leading the defense, even though there were some other greats, but this man was revered as one of the leaders of it. Miami Dolphin fans, wake up. The things we celebrate are so minuscule compared to what other teams are doing. Stop continuing to put us on a high horse because we think that those things are success when they did nothing but fail. This is what frustrates me. I want greatness. I want the best. I want it all. I want more. And we trying to live a great old glory days that didn't get the job done anyway. Come on, y'all. Let's demand more of this team. Let's demand more. So would you say it was players and coaches? I don't know what you're talking about. Say it was players and coaches when it comes to what? Explain why more players from the 72 are not in the Hall of Fame. Because they don't have the stats. The baseline is stats. The baseline is stats. You have to have a memorable career. The 72 team is in the Hall of Fame. The team is. Don't forget, no name defense. They were nobodies, most of them. They were nobodies. TD, stop making it seem like the Bears defense won championships. No, I'm not making it seem like they won championships, but they were championship caliber. And that was the bread and butter of their team. That was what that team made it that as far as they did every year off of. Just like Dan Marino gets in, he never won a Super Bowl. That's how that defense was. That defense was the equivalence of a Dan Marino. It was that great, but couldn't get over the hump. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. I mean, would you say it was players or coaches as far as why we don't have more Hall of Famers? I don't know. Because I just don't know. I wasn't the expert of football when back in 95 and all of those years with Jason Taylor and all of those guys. Richmond Webb's tenure. In 95, I mean, that's 27 years ago. I'm 37 now. I was 10 years old. I wasn't the expert. I didn't understand the importance of the coach's role and what they did and everything. So I never got a real evaluation back then of what the issue was. All I have to go off of is what our mature Dolphin fans tell me. The Dolphin fans that are older than me who witnessed it all. The Dolphin fans that tell me, you know, the stuff that they tell me, even about Dan Marino. I have no clue. But if you sit back and you evaluate what gets people in, it is clear. The correlation is undeniable. First of all, there is a base level at every position for stats you need to achieve. Once you've achieved that level, you're eligible to get in. But if you don't achieve that level and you're just slightly under, you got to have a heck of a postseason resume and accolades to get you in. It starts off with stats. How did you compare with your peers and those who did it before you? It's that simple. So Zach Thomas, there is a base level for stats to get in. Urlacher don't even got the stats to get in. Urlacher is just under the stats necessary to get in. Just like Zach Thomas is just under the stats to get in. But Urlacher had that postseason. He had that name. He had that recognition. And how did Urlacher get that recognition? You remember people for what they do in the postseason. You become a legend for what you do in the postseason, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have postseason success, only your fan base remembers you because they watch you every week. The general football fan doesn't watch you every week. But if you make it to the postseason, everybody watches you. They remember you. And they remember if you showed up. They remember if you impacted the win. That's how it works. If you ain't got the baseline stats, then that's how it works. You got to have that postseason on your resume, and you have to have done something in it. Where these writers themselves, instead of covering their own team, they're watching you in the playoffs. We got one writer that's a voter. Every NFL team gets one voter. One writer is the voter. We got one writer. I don't know. Is it Armando? We got one writer. Why are these other writers going to care about Jason Taylor when they never really watched him in the postseason? These writers aren't watching every team every week. They covering their team. They telling y'all everything you need to know about their team. They own their team, writing articles, blah, blah, blah. They ain't worrying about what's happening in the league. Not until the playoffs are they paying attention to the other teams that made it and the players on it and how they impacted history. They don't know nothing about Zach Thomas. They know of him because our beat writer is telling them Zach was great. Y'all just have to look. He did this, he did that. And those beat writers like, yeah, he was great. But he ain't did nothing. Yeah, he got some stats. It still ain't at the level it need to be. He just misses it. But again, he ain't did nothing. Where was he in the postseason? He made it a few times. Okay, what'd he do? How many wins did he impact in it? So I'd rather pick this guy because at his position, he actually did some stuff. Look at the stats. He meet it. And look at his postseason. Every position don't get in. This is what the voters are talking about. But look at this guy. You're talking about a Zach Thomas who's right there on the cusp, but I got another guy in his position who are hitting Hall of Fame numbers. Or you're talking about Zach Thomas who's just on the cuff, and I got a guy who's on the cuff, but look at all the accolades he got and what he did in the postseason. And you want me to vote for Zach Thomas because your fans love it? Well, my fans want me to vote for this person. I'm not voting for Zach. Jason Taylor is in Hall of Fame. Of course he is. But Jason Taylor there are guys who got 20 less sacks than Jason Taylor in the Hall of Fame. 20 less sacks than him in the Hall of Fame. So Jason Taylor exceeded the baseline numbers. That's why he in. Guaranteed. There ain't no debate. He ain't got much postseason, but look at his career. He is a top player at his position. He exceeded even the lowest level of the Hall of Famers. That's how it works. So stop being extra and fake crying every year around this time. Oh, they snubbed him again. They snubbed him again. Stop. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop. You might well do that with Tua. You might well do that with Tua. Man, how Aaron Rodgers get the MVP, man? Tua should have got it, man. You might well do that. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. So the reality, ladies and gentlemen, that's why Zach Thomas did not make the Hall of Fame again. My wife said, is he going to get in? I said, no. People hopeful, though. Look at him on Twitter. Look at him sitting in front of the TV with their Zach jerseys on like, yeah, hopefully tonight is the night I witness it. Well, what if he gets in? He ain't get in. People just want to keep ignoring what the criteria is because they love him. He was a Dolphin great. But a Dolphin great is a good player around the league. Don't forget that. Somebody said Brian Urlacher had 47 solo tackles, 8 assists. So that's I'm just trying to do the math here. That's 55 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions in 7 games in the playoffs in his career. Are you serious? Absolutely. Are those not great stats for you in the postseason? Are those not great stats for you in the postseason? When you have everybody around you that are great as well, they get in their numbers too. Those are great postseason stats. 55 tackles, that means he averaged over 8 tackles a game in the postseason. Got 2 sacks as a linebacker, which is hard to do in the playoffs. And 2 interceptions. Now that's huge in the playoffs. That's them game changers. Are you serious? It's just like in Miami when the big three got together, Dwayne, Bosh, and LeBron. Did anybody hit their normal career averages? No, because when you're surrounded by greatness, your numbers are supposed to come down because everybody's eating. But those are still really good numbers to put up in the postseason. And once again, see, Urlacher, it'll be a playoff game where they down by 5 and he get one of them interceptions and they move to the next round. You got to go watch what this man did and how he impacted the game. And then go look, how many of those tackles were tackled for losses too? Somebody said this is an insult. Zach deserves to be in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. You know what's funny about that? Do you know how many teams tonight are talking about on their streams a player that they feel should have been in, but we don't even have no clue who they talking about? Do you know how many Twitter threads are talking about a player that should have got in and we won't even know who they talking about? This is the point that I'm making. We get so enamored with Dolphins because we know them. But in the bigger scheme, again, it's just another guy that ain't get in that they fans think they should have. That's all it is. I thank God that I've started about 5 years ago paying attention to all sports and all teams. And now it's kind of opened up my mind to be like, dang, when you think your guys are it or the main story, they just a small part of this bigger picture. Zach is a straight up thumper. I know better thumpers ain't make the Hall of Fame. Let's keep it 1,000. Not better stats, but I know thumpers that ain't make the Hall of Fame. Stop now. See, we give these general things. He's a thumper. The criteria ain't to be in the Hall of Fame ain't just being a thumper. So you basically saying he's going to go into the Hall of Fame at Dave and Buster's. No, he might get in this one, but it's going to have to be a weak class. Did you notice the people who didn't get selected are getting younger and younger? Do you notice guys like DeMarcus Ware was eligible? Let me look up. I got to look that up, by the way. DeMarcus Ware stats. I got to look that up. I want to see if he going to get in. Because he's another guy who did not. Oh, he did win a Super Bowl, didn't he? Come to think of it, he actually got one. I was about to say with the Cowboys, he ain't never do nothing. Same situation. But he actually won a Super Bowl. Let me see. Let me see if DeMarcus Ware will get in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let me go look at his career. I want y'all to tell me, and now remember, he was a linebacker as well. I know y'all got him as a defensive end, but his official position was linebacker as well. Think about that. Please think about that. They gonna compare him to Zach Thomas. Think about it. Don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what they gonna do when they start voting at the position. All right, let me see, man. Dang, I just want his career stats. Why y'all giving me every game of his career? Just give me the overall. Gosh. So look at this. Y'all tell me in the comment section, is DeMarcus Ware gonna make the Pro Bowl? I mean Hall of Fame? What y'all think? You think so? My wife said yes for sure. Let me see. Y'all let me know. I don't see no answers in the comment section. Is he gonna make it in the Hall of Fame? Negative. Eventually, yes. All right, I'm about to see. I'm about to check these stats, and then we're gonna get up out of here, man. Let me go back because this ain't showing me what I need to see. All right, here we go. Career stats as it's loading. All right. No, I want overall, not year by year. All right, total. Here we go. This man has, look at this. Over 600 tackles. Now on here, they got him listed as a DN. So he may go as a defensive end. See, yep, he going to the Hall of Fame. He got 138.5 sacks. How many sacks Jason Taylor got, y'all? How many sacks Jason Taylor got? Put it in the comment section. How many sacks does Jason Taylor got? He definitely going to the Hall of Fame. And he went to a Super Bowl. Are you talking about 124? Jason Taylor has 139.5 sacks. This man had 138.5. He had one sack less. One sack less. Again, Jason Taylor has 139.5 sacks, y'all. Come on, y'all. He got 139.5 sacks, period. Okay. Now, this man has one less sack than Jason Taylor and actually was in a Super Bowl. Where is going to the Hall of Fame? And if that should be your writing on the wall as I get out of here, because I ain't finna argue this, talk about this no more. That's your writing on the wall. He's going to the Hall of Fame and he didn't even get in this time. He is definitely going to the Hall of Fame and he did not get in this time. The window's closing for Zach and it's closing fast. The new generation is coming in now. These players didn't even play with him and they're being finalists. It's a wrap. I got to be honest, it's probably a wrap. In the next 3 years, he won't even be listed as a finalist anymore. Unless that linebacking class for years to come gets weak. We'll see. Anyway, I'm out of here. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Keep your head up, man. But I don't want y'all down and all busted about him not getting in. Let's just be honest. It's not likely. We're hopeful. That's why I tell y'all, stop operating off of your emotions and just be honest. And if you mad at what I'm saying, don't be mad at me. Be mad at the voters because they agree. Everybody around you agrees basically because ain't nobody but Dolphin fans saying he should be in. They snubbed him again. No. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins.